Hey everyone, it's Trinity Faith, and we're hanging out with Hank Jr. on Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. I am Hank Jr., your host, part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and now podcasting. And for those that have been following me for a while, you know that my little corner is somewhere in the Tampa area. And I'm so glad that my next guest is on because she is also from the Tampa area. Please welcome rising star, musician, Trinity Faith. Trinity, how are you today?
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for having me. And Tampa native, right? Are you
Well,
born and raised?
I can't say I'm a Tampa native. I'm originally from
Okay,
Texas, born and bred
okay.
there, and I've
But
been
you
here for
moved to the
4
best
years
state.
now.
You moved to the best.
Well, Texas and Florida, I will say, are the top two states. How about
Okay,
that?
you're right. You're right. You're right. No, I'll give it to you.
But then I guess you're a native of Tampa, then, right?
I am born and raised here in Tampa, Florida. Yes.
Okay, so are you back in Tampa right now as we're doing this broadcast, or are you out there in Nashville?
I am back in Tampa right now. I'm not sure when this is going to go live, but I'm actually in the process of moving back to Nashville. I'll be full time in about 2 weeks. I'm so excited. I have so much to do, so little time. It's going by so fast, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, because you've kind of been going back and forth between the two, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that can't be easy.
It's been a little rough. We've made it work, and I've been just super grateful to have my team that's kind of back and forth with me. And we've been working together for some time now, and so whenever I come up to Nashville, we make the most out of our trips. So it's always productive. It's been super nice, but I was in Nashville for a month, which was like the longest period that I've been in Nashville for since I originally moved there back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And we got so much accomplished in that month, and it was finally like, this is the time. We just have to make the move. I'm ready to be back. I'm ready to just keep going and kind of keep the momentum. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait. I really do love Nashville.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. And of course, you were up there during one of the busiest months for Nashville with CRS going on, and I
Yes,
saw
that
that you posted a couple pictures with Presley Tennant and JD Shelburne. Both of them have been on the podcast, so that was cool to see them.
how exciting! I love that.
But tell me, out of all the guests that you got to talk to over there and meet and all the stars, who are some of your favorites and why?
Honestly, and I think you've had her on your show too, but that CRS was the first time I was able to meet Paige Johnson in person.
Yeah,
And
she is a sweetheart.
she is a doll. I adore her. And I wrote Just Me with her, the title track of the album. We wrote so many songs together over Zoom, and that was like the first time I got to see her in person. So that was just a really, really cool full circle moment that I was able to
Wow.
meet her and see her and hug her in person. So it was so nice. Paige is one of my favorites. So she definitely stuck out because I had been wanting to meet her in person for so long. We've been doing Zooms forever, but to finally see her, in front of me and talk with her, it was just so nice.
Yeah, she's definitely one of a kind, and I love her Southern personality, and I love how it comes through
So
her
cute.
music. So,
Yes.
I'm glad that you had a good time over there.
Yes, CRS was amazing. We got so much done. We met so many great people, great interviews, press releases coming out now. So it's just very exciting and a lot of things rolling out that will be here shortly.
Yeah, and I got to get up there to CRS one of these times, and I always say that I'm going to do it next year, and next year comes
Yeah.
around, and because I have a different full-time job that sometimes it just doesn't allow me to take the
I know.
vacations when I need to do it. But either way, hopefully I'm back in Nashville soon. But while you're here in Tampa, what have you been doing?
Honestly, I'm getting ready to move. So there's been a lot of kind of getting things in order and trying to pack up my stuff and figuring out all that, but also kind of continuing the move with music and continuing that process with rights and finishing things up and team meetings and preparation work and working on the next single and all the things that go in the behind the scenes stuff that happen as an artist. And there's just a lot going on, I think, both as an artist and also on the business aspect side too, which is really interesting. When I first started the whole music industry, that is probably one of the most important things I learned is trying to balance both the artist aspect and kind of continuing to build my craft, but also learning to become a businesswoman at 18 years old and trying to figure that out and learning. But thankfully, I've had just such an amazing support system and a team who I've learned so much from and continue to learn from every single day. So that's really what
Yeah.
I've been up to.
Yeah, and that's definitely a lot, and we'll talk a little bit more later on about the business aspect of it and how that works. But while all this is going on, you have a recent song out called "Favor" that's doing pretty well. Tell us a little bit about that song.
I wrote this song actually a little bit ago with one of my dear friends and co-writers, Bill D, and we just had so much fun writing this song. It was just, we wanted something upbeat and energetic, and we wanted to incorporate, kind of twist your normal breakup song story. And he had come up with the hook line, and we just ran with it. It was just such a fun song to write. I remember before we started writing it, he had looked at me and was like, Trin, I love this song, but how savage do we want to get writing this song? And I said, Bill, let's write it. I don't have a savage song like that, and I think it would just be really fun to kind of embody that energetic spirit and incorporate a little bit of Florida with the windows down, and so it's a good time, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking the song, and let's go ahead and play it here on Hank's Corner. Here's "Favor."
A coastline, sunshine, windows downer. Don't think this radio could go any louder. Yeah, I shed a tear when a song came on, but in 3 short minutes it was nothing but gone. I'm not sitting around checking my phone, staying at home, no, 'cause I know I'm finding myself now that we're not together. I had it bad, now I have it better. I didn't see the bigger picture till later when you did me wrong, boy. You did me a favor. You're 1 in 8 billion, sure I'll find another. Ooh, that's what you did, but you kept it undercover. I'm free as July, wild as a flower. Life is sure sweet since it went all sour. I'm not sitting around checking my phone, staying at home, no, 'cause I know I'm finding myself now that we're not together. I had it bad, now I have it better. I didn't see the bigger picture till later when you did me wrong, boy. You did me a favor. It ain't breaking my heart that you made me fall in love with who I am, not the girl I was. I'm finding myself now that we're not together. I had it bad, now I have it better. I didn't see the bigger picture till later when you did me wrong, boy. You did me a favor. You did me a favor.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. That was "Favor," the latest single from Trinity Faith. I'm talking to Tampa Bay native Trinity here at Hank's Corner, and I want you to take me back though. I mean, you're going through a little bit of success, and I say a little bit, but it's really a lot. But I'm kind of being a little facetious there. But take me back to when you were like 5 years old, and you were up in church, and you were singing songs like "Jesus Take the Wheel." Tell me about that, and when you decided, hey, this music thing is going to be for me.
Music really has always been a part of my life. I wish I could. I mean, actually, I don't wish that because I love music so much, but there was never like a point where I didn't love it and I didn't chase it and I didn't want that as my dream. So I don't really ever know a life without music, if that kind of makes sense.
Mhm.
But when I was little, just started singing whenever I could, wherever. And I started taking voice lessons at a very young age and performing and doing all that. And I don't remember exactly what age I was, but I was in church and I sang Jesus Take the Wheel for the first time, kind of in front of more than just my family, you know? And that was just like the light bulb moment, I think. I don't even really remember that moment, but I remember everyone saying after that, it was just, you were taken off, you know? And so I have always loved performing. I've always loved connecting with audiences. And then when you bring in the songwriting aspect of it, which kind of came later in life, that was like a whole new world to me, to not only sing in front of audiences, but also write your own songs, have other people connect to them, is just so meaningful. And I'm just so happy that I kind of have the two best of both worlds as an artist and also as a songwriter and a musician. So
Yeah, it's definitely when you can put the two together. I mean, there's some artists that are just, great songwriters, and then there's some that, that are out there playing. But when you can do
yeah,
both, you just have a lot more control, and you can have more
so,
artistic ability to do some of that stuff. But
mhm.
as far as the writing aspect, do you remember the first song that you ever wrote or attempted to write?
I don't know where this journal is, but I remember writing little song. This is exactly how my brain would work, as and this is how I knew I loved music in general. But whenever I would go through anything, like let's say I was in elementary school and a friend didn't like me or something like that, I would write in my journal a song about the scenario that happened that day. And came across this journal maybe a year ago, and I was just sitting there all day reading through the passages, reading through like all the things that I wrote, just thinking, because I took a break from songwriting for a little bit, and I just kind of put it away to the side and really focus on the vocal aspect of it and growing my craft in that area. And I didn't pick up songwriting until I want to say my junior year of high school was when I really started having those emotions to really get back into it really hard. And my end of junior year, senior year, I was like writing all the time. And then that's when I wrote my first official full length song, Okay. And we put that out in 2020. Or maybe I
Okay.
think it was 2021, one of those two. But I'm just
Well,
so
those years always go mixed together because that was
okay.
such a weird time, right?
It was such a weird time. My first single came out in 2020. So that song must have come out in 2021. But anyways, I'm so glad that I, was full throttle on songwriting, and after hundreds and hundreds of writes, we are here today, and I still love it, and I love it more than I did yesterday. So
Well, that's good because when you love what you're doing, it's like you never work a day in your life, is what they
I
say.
say
So,
that. I say that same thing. Everyone asks me, how was work when you were in Nashville? And I'm like, I had a blast. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I wish I could say, it is hard work, don't get me wrong, but I love it, and I love doing it every day and waking up, and I'm just so thankful that I get to do this.
now you said you had an instant connection with your audience. Was that you didn't have any stage fright, or how was that? Because a lot of people I talk to are kind of like on either end of the spectrum. Either they were real nervous about doing it, and they had to force their way, or if they were old enough, they might be drinking a shot of whiskey to help them out. And then some that just like what I'm guessing you're going to describe is that it was just natural for you.
Performing has always come very naturally to me. I used to watch, all the timeless artists and Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, and I'd study them for hours, and just was so amazed and so in awe of the connections that they made with their audiences when they were performing. It wasn't just singing, it was the emotion that they would convey during their songs. And I was just so fascinated with how seeing them sing made me feel something that wasn't even supposed to be. Like, I wasn't heartbroken at the time at 12 years old, but for some reason I had those emotions come upon me, and I was like, this is beautiful. Like, I want to make people feel like this. And it really honestly just started from that. I really kind of honed in on, actually took some acting skills, acting lessons, and kind of worked on acting skills on how to portray your emotions through song. I did pageantry for a while. I did karaoke all the time. I just kind of really dove in feet first, kind of just getting acquainted with being in front of people at a very young age and connecting that way. So I definitely had a lot of kind of, not necessarily training. I don't know how you like really train for that, but I had a lot of practice from very young.
Yeah, and that's interesting because, most people, including myself, would say, okay, well, obviously you got to do some vocal lessons and,
Mhm.
you can, pick up an instrument and work on that. But this is kind of the first time that I've thought about it now that you brought it up that you're, taking, like you said, maybe like acting lessons so that you can convey those emotions
Mhm.
even better. And that's
Mhm.
interesting because I'd never thought of, music artists doing that. To me, I look at somebody and I say, well, that's just naturally who they are. But I guess in some cases you can, hone in on their craft and make it better.
I really just wanted to kind of give myself another outlet on, how to really express those emotions. Like, nothing I wanted to be forced in any way. I just wanted to grow in that area of, like, how can I convey that to people watching me? How can I uh, make those emotions and tell a story better in front of people than just the way that I'm doing it organically? And I still wanted those emotions to flow organically. And of course, as songwriting, I, always want things to be true to who I am. And that's why I love songwriting. But from a performing aspect, and I didn't take very many acting lessons, but it was just nice to kind of have that under my
Mhm.
belt to really, see what that was like and kind of get better at some of those skills.
I want to play another one of your songs, Could Have Been Mine. But when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about that as far as acting and the videos and then the social media aspect. So
Yes.
let's go ahead and
Yes.
play Could Have Been Mine by Trinity Faith here on Hank's Corner.
It was only a few weeks in, a couple dates. I was wrapped in your smile, I'd swear that you would see this through. Now I'm staring at that empty chair you left behind. You didn't even say goodbye. I mean, that's sad for you. Don't think you can take what you want from me. Empty hands and broken hearts aren't what you leave. You could've had this crazy loving kind of girl, midnight dancing, rock your world, keep you guessing every time. Sunset dreaming kind of love, late night driving beautiful. Ooh, you could have been mine. I bet you'll lie to your friends, tell them how you broke this poor girl's heart. Whatever makes you feel good. Meanwhile, I'm doing just fine, never better. Too bad you didn't stick around. I feel bad for you. Don't think you can take what you want from me. Empty hands and broken hearts aren't what you leave. You could've had this crazy loving kind of girl, midnight dancing, rock the world, keep you guessing every time. Sunset dreaming kind of love, late night driving beautiful. Ooh, you could have been mine. I ain't gonna lose sleep over you, it's just your loss. Ooh, you could've had this crazy loving kind of girl, midnight dancing, rock the world, keep you guessing every time. Sunset dreaming kind of love, late night driving beautiful. Ooh, you could have been mine.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm here with Tampa Bay native Trinity Faith. And I wanted to go back to what you were talking about as far as, conveying emotion through the physical aspect, not just the vocal aspect. And I know you
Mhm.
got a couple of videos out. Tell me, do you like making videos? Is it fun? Is it easy to do?
I love it. I love it. It is so much fun to bring the story to life in a different area. I feel like production wise, when I'm in the studio versus kind of filming a video, you get to hear it. Honestly, when you put out a song, obviously you hear it and you try to, make vocal adjustments onto, pronunciation and all the things. But when you have a video, it's so cool to bring that aspect of it too, because I think it gives a visual for the audience to kind of connect all the pieces together, which I think is very important when you're trying to get a point across or a song across and kind of, say what you want to say in a really true way. I love making music videos and I plan to have lots more in the future, which I'm very excited for. But Okay was a blast to film. That was my most recent one. And that was about a heartbreak song. So that was really cool storytelling song and video to come to life, was to bring Okay to the table and then figure out like production wise, and it was just such a fun video to film, and we've gotten great feedback on that song too.
Okay. And as a photographer, videographer, I'm one to always promote other ones. I know some don't like doing that. It's kind of a cutthroat thing, but I enjoy promoting. Do you have a
That's so
particular
awesome.
videographer that you go to do your videos?
I used Rhett Miller for my videos, and him and his team are great people. They're great humans, and they were so easy to work with and just great at what they do. So we used Rhett Miller and his team, and his wife was on the second video. So they're just amazing. So always give a shout out to them. They are just so wonderful.
Yeah, I do like looking at their work. I think it's really great how they put everything
Mhm.
together. But do you have any say in how the video goes, or you just let them run with their vision?
I love being part of the creative process, like with production and music, and also production in video stuff too. I have such a passion for making sure things are, I think, being told in a certain way, but also making sure it still is very organic to the artist and me. So I love being a part of that, and I love kind of going through and picking out things and saying, yes, let's do this, or hey, maybe let's try, this way, or let's do it this way. And I'm very open to all ideas too, so that makes it a lot more exciting and fun, I think, than just kind of going down by the script and kind of stepping outside the box sometimes and trying some things new.
Yeah, and also talking about the business aspect, and
Mhm.
it's really what it comes down to is branding. I mean, there's the financial aspect of the business part, but there's also the branding side of it, which the videos help, and then now in today's world, it's really with social media. Who's doing
Huge.
your social media? Is that you, or do you have somebody doing that?
I have an incredible team who I have talked about before, but at Aristo Media, they're just amazing. They're incredible. They kind of help navigate the things like way beyond my scope and kind of just really bring it in home and help me in the best way possible, whether that's through video or PR or socials or all the things with branding and song releases. And I'm just so grateful to have such a wonderful team who kind of encompasses all that, and they're there as my home base, which I'm very excited to be very close to once I move to Nashville. So very lots of exciting things I think are coming.
Okay. And is there a part of the business aspect, or, another part of the industry that you still want to learn and kind of, figure out, hey, I want to have my hands in everything. So this aspect, I need to kind of learn that and kind of master that as well.
I think it's important to, I think, balance. Balance is a very important thing. Trying to still remain an artist and kind of make sure that they're equal, because sometimes when I was younger, it was just vocals, make sure we're doing all the things to get better at your craft. And I still am so pro that, like, you work on you and your gift for sure, 100%. But then you realize that when you get older, you're like, oh my gosh, there's way more to this than just singing and performing and writing songs. Like, there has to be something that makes this all work, and that's the business aspect. And so 18 years old coming into it was like, whoa, what is this world? This is totally different than what I'm used to, just singing on a stage and getting off and rehearsing and vocal lessons. So learning, I think, different all aspects. Again, my team has been just so wonderful, kind of like helping me learn everything. Whether they're doing something, they're walking me through the process. They're helping explain why we do this. Why does this happen the way that it does? And so I'm able to kind of learn from that and really have my hands in everything, so that I can see, hey, this is exactly how, your song came out. This is how everything happens. So I'm not just, singing. I have, an overall knowledge of the industry.
Yeah, and I've talked about that a lot with different artists, and some people are really wanting to do that. Some just, he says, well, I trust my team, and I'll let it. And if you have a good team, maybe you can do that. But one of the big artists that's actually here in town right now while we're recording this is Taylor Swift, and she's selling out the Raymond J Stadium like crazy over here.
Crazy.
But that's one of the things one of the persons who have mastered this, where she has learned not just the songwriting, not just the performing, but how to brand herself and the financial aspect, and she's a huge success at doing that.
I think being a businesswoman is very important. I think no matter what you do, but especially also kind of having that knowledge of, hey, this is how this works. Hey, this is how, whether it's video, whether it's PR, whether it's working with labels, whether it's with executives, whatever it is, I think growing in all of those areas is only going to just make it even better for you and have you understand more, and it makes sense, and the reason why you do certain things, and not just, hey, we're going to this meeting for whatever. You know what I mean? I kind of have a knowledge of, hey, this is important because this is going to help us grow in XYZ, and understanding where all that stems from is so important. It's much more than just writing a song, releasing it. There's so much prep and work and behind the scenes stuff that goes into the music industry, and I think it's just so important to be in that as well.
Yeah, and the more that the less chance you have somebody taking advantage of you or doing something that just leads you down the wrong path. I was one of the last ones to finally see the Elvis movie, but I did see that, and watching what he had to go through, being the success that he was, but having somebody that was just basically steering him the wrong way and using him. And, I think that's why it's a good idea to kind of know all the aspects. So good for you that's, willing to do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to be the best version of myself, and also be the best version for my team too, because they keep the train moving. And if I can, be in that with them in every aspect of it, that also means a lot to me, because, I want to be putting in the hard work that they put in too.
Okay. And I think now would be an appropriate time to go ahead and play Just Me. So let's go ahead and play that here on Hank's Corner.
I'm making dinner for one, my dates are few or none. I'm back to making all my own decisions. Most days I'm perfectly fine, others I'm wondering why. It's like my heart's always in competition. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy where I am, but some days I still miss being the hand that someone holds 'neath the midnight sky, being walked to my front door for a kiss goodnight. Don't mind me, I'm just sitting here dreaming of the love that could be. And while I'm waiting on the one I know will set my heart free, I'm okay with just me. I'm not the settling type, I just set my standards high, 'cause I know exactly who holds my world. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy where I am, but some days I still miss being the hand that someone holds 'neath the midnight sky, being walked to my front door for a kiss goodnight. Don't mind me, I'm just sitting here dreaming of the love that could be. And while I'm waiting on the one I night sky. Walk to my front door for a kiss. Good night, don't mind me, I'm just sitting here dreaming of the love that could be. And while I'm waiting on the one I know will set my heart free, I'm okay with just me. I'm okay with just me. I'm okay with just me.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner, and that was Just Me, or Just Trinity Faith, with one of her singles there. And for this last part, I always like to get a little bit of a different aspect other than just the music that you do. So being in Tampa, what are some of the things that when you do have time? Because I know artists are always busy, but what are some of the
Yeah.
things you're doing here for fun and hobbies, that sort of thing?
So kind of to break it down, I love to cook. Cooking is one of my favorite pastimes. I just love coming up with new recipes and following recipes and making them my own. So I love to do that. Any pasta dish is going to be my favorite to make. So I love to cook. I also love to go to the beach. I mean, I was born and raised in Florida. How can I not love the beach? But I love to go to some of my favorite places right along the coast and just either bring a guitar with me, or sometimes I bring work. Sometimes I like to just kind of take the day off and sit in the sun and get some vitamin D and all the things, and then go get coconut shrimp to end my day. And that's like
Definitely. And I'm always about the food. We'll always bring up food at some point during my podcast.
Yes.
And, and it's pretty cool that you like to cook. I mean, I'll admit, I can't really cook that well. And, there's some things that I can grill, but that's about it. But I interviewed Dallas Remington at one point, and I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she has this thing. I think I hope I don't get it right, but I think it's like Picking and Cooking is what the show's called, and where she does her social media lives, and she'll be cooking and then she'll be playing. Any thoughts about maybe doing something like that where you can go live on?
That would be so cool to share like a recipe. That is so cool. Or like play some new songs. And yeah, that's so fun. I love that. That's so exciting.
All right.
What a great
we'll
idea. I would love to make something of that and give her credits for that. That's so funny. I love the idea though. That's so fun.
Well, we'll run that by your team there, and we'll see if we can do it. I know I'll tune in, because if you're teaching us too, also like what you're putting in, maybe I can follow along and not mess up and get it right.
Yes. And then you can save the video, save the live, and that would be so fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you're, a beach fan as well. I've seen the social media posts and everything like that. Are you going to miss that when you go back to Tennessee? Because, there's another artist I think you're familiar with. She's back here on my wall somewhere too, Aubrey Roulette, who's also from the Tampa area, and she's got a couple of songs that talks about how when she's in Nashville she misses Florida, but when she's in Florida she misses Nashville. Are you going to miss Florida when you go back to Nashville?
I'm going to miss Florida so much. This is like my home, my family's here, but I'll be back. I'll still make visits here, and I promise every time I come back I will be at the beach. So
well, it really isn't that far away. I mean, I know I can do it within 10-hour drive, especially if I have family that need to stop. But it's not too bad. And of course, along the way, there's a couple of Buc-ee's that we like stopping at. So that's always making the trip worthwhile.
I've never been to a Buc-ee's. I need to go.
Yeah. So on your way back, stop at one.
I know. I've heard they're life changing, so I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, it's a Wawa on steroids, basically what it is.
And they don't have Wawas in Nashville, so
no, they don't.
Yeah.
So you'll end up missing that, but you trade one for the other.
Yeah, exactly.
And so with this driving back and forth, I'm sure you're listening to a lot of music, and I always talk about, I got this playlist that now you're, of course, well, you've been on it for a while, but I always put it under the guest of Hank's Corner, and I listen to all the different people that have been on, but who is on your playlist?
Carrie Underwood, for sure. Some of her new stuff, I love her. Who else is on my playlist right now? I have some new Hunter Hayes songs that came out. He did a new EP, and I've been a fan of his forever. And he hadn't released some new stuff for a while, and he just came out with a new EP. So good. I have that on the playlist. It's so funny. Sometimes I separate them. Like I have a beach playlist and then I have like a country beach playlist.
Hmm.
So, anyways, all Lainey Wilson. I mean, it's just so many are Morgan Wallen. The list goes on. So good.
Yeah, definitely good singers there, and of course, like you said, I know people have different lists for different moods and that sort of thing. But
Yes.
that's always great to hear what other people are listening to. And along those lines, though, some of these people that you work with, who should we be looking out for that is another rising star out there that hey, check out this particular artist.
Oh my gosh, who am I gonna pick? Um, the girls that I were at CRS with, they were a doll. They were so much fun to hang out with. Presley, she was just so sweet. I got to
Hmm.
talk to her a little bit and kind of hear her journey and kind of see what she was up to. So
And
Presley's
she's
killing it
got
right
an
now.
amazing voice too.
She does, and to kind of hear her story and her start right now. So those girls are just, awesome to see fellow females in country music really pushing hard and working hard. So I'm gonna give them a shout out.
Okay. And given the opportunity to perform with, it doesn't have to be one, but any artist that's out there, whether living or, not longer, who would you
Well,
have loved to perform with?
that's such a hard question. How am I supposed to answer that? Because I feel like there's so many artists that I would choose from. Um, I think doing a song collaboration or even singing live with Dan and Shay is
Mm.
on my bucket list. I think Shay Mooney has one of the best vocals. Just he's incredible. He is unreal. That is on my list to sing with them for sure.
Okay, and that's interesting because they have not been one of the ones anybody has mentioned, and you do have a good point. Definitely a great voice there, vocals, and
Yes.
that'd be interesting to see you guys collaborate.
Yes, he did one with Tori Kelly. They've done one. They did
Hmm.
Speechless featuring Tori Kelly, and Tori Kelly is one of my favorite artists of all time. So I would just love to have that opportunity. I think their harmonies are super tight. Shay Mooney as a vocalist is just absolutely unreal, and I would love for that to happen
Oh, that
someday.
would
So
that would be awesome.
we're
Well,
hoping.
and then if you do, you got to tell them about my podcast and maybe they'll
Oh my
come on
gosh!
because
And I'll have to play it and be like, "Listen, even back then, I wanted to sing with you."
exactly, I would love that. And but should somebody come to your particular show, what should they expect from a Trinity Faith performance?
I think just a mix of everything. I want high energy, which I love bringing in the crowd that way. I also love really intimate storytelling and kind of going back to acoustic with some stuff to really showcase one of my favorite songs or an emotional song. Um, I want to have fun. I want to talk to them. I want to get to know them, and there's so many aspects I think you can bring to a live show that incorporate. I'd also love to kind of show a little bit of my past and kind of bring in some different genres too, with some cover stuff. And I think it would just be so fun to make it your own and have someone walk away and be like, I've not been to a show that's done that. I think that's the goal with every artist is to kind of make it your own.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that I get to come to one of your shows at some point soon. And
I would
for
love
everybody
that.
out there that's listening out there, be sure to follow Trinity Faith. On all her social medias, you'll see where she's playing at. You can also check out trinityfaithmusic.com. And Trinity, it was great talking with you. I'm glad you got to spend a couple of moments before you have to rush back out to Tennessee.
Yes,
So
it's about to get crazy. So we had the perfect time. Thank you for slowing me down and just kind of forcing me to stop and kind of chat and all the things. It's been so much fun.
well, if you ever want to be a guest on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to do so.
I would love it. That would be so great. Film another one while I'm in Nashville, and then we'll have one in Florida and one in Tennessee.
There we go.
The way you smile lights up this whole town, but I haven't seen it in a while. Something about the other day made it hard to say I've let you go. I wanted to be the one you wanted, not afraid of being flaunted. Now all I feel is forgotten, that's okay. Wanted to hold your heart forever, spend all our days being better, but now all I am is I forget her, that's okay. I'll be time thinking about a lifetime without you. Do you still think of me in all our history? 'Cause I still never know. So much more than I ever wanted, never feeling forgotten, that's okay.